Good evening, Saturday night. The Fire Burns Within channel back with another video, yet another one underrated song per album video. This time focusing on a band that is, in my opinion, very underrated in general. Although they're very inconsistent, but they've been going a long time. It's the mighty Virgin Steele. It's not a band that has a lot of fans. I don't know why. I mean, I think they're an awesome band. They have been awesome. They're not awesome now, but they have been awesome in the past. And David DeFay, the band leader, I just find his vocals to be some of the best vocals when he's on his A game in classic heavy power metal or classic heavy metal. He's a really amazing singer, and the band themselves are a little bit underrated, I think, when they're in their prime. I mean, they've disappointed in recent years. I mean, I know David DeFay is getting on a bit. His singing style is, let's say, pretty unique. It's not like everyone else's. You know it's him straight away. And if you're a fan of the band and you're watching this video, yeah, I want to hear some comments about what you think about Virgin Steele. Anyway, let's go to the debut album, Virgin Steele. It was released, I think, 82. It's not a good album. It's not a good start. His vocals are completely out of control on the highs. Like, he's squealing and screeching. The production is really poor as well. It's really bog standard, even for early 80s. I did manage to find a song that's quite good. It's Drive On Through, the song. It's sort of like a heavy glam song. It's okay. It's a good song. It's a groovy, glammy track. The rest of it, I can't really say too much about it. Next album they released, Guardians of the Flame. This is more like it. This is more the style of Virgin Steele. It's still not perfect, but they improve the production. They start to show the epic side of the band. A little bit longer songs. Little bit better singing from Mr. DeFay. He's not screeching all the time. The song I've picked out here is Metal City. I think that's a really good, fast-paced, sort of very energetic song right at the end of the album. The other song to take note from the album is the title track, Guardians of the Flame, which is a very epic song. I mean, it's starting to hint at what Virgin Steele is more famous for, you know, towards the end of the 90s and early 2000s. Next album is Noble Savage. Again, a vast improvement on Guardians of the Flame. It's much more better produced, better sung, more epic songs, and also a hint of the glam side still is there. They can't quite rid themselves of that. The song I've picked out here is Angel of Light. It's the final song on the album. I think that's a really cool, melodic, sort of epic song. It's got like very good vocals from Mr. DeFay. It really sounds good on that song. There's 3 other songs to mention from the album. The title track, Noble Savage, is just awesome. That is an awesome, epic, classic Virgin Steele song. I mean, I wouldn't say it's underrated, hence I didn't pick it. 2 other songs, Thy Kingdom Come, again, it's a classic song. And We Rule the Night, the opener. It's a catchy, fast-paced rocker, very catchy chorus, very good. But Angel of Light is the one that mainly stood out for me. Next album is Age of Consent. Now this album is mixed. It's bringing out more of the glam side of the band and sort of more mid 80s hard rock side of the band. There's not a lot of like epic heavy metal here, but there is one song, and it's the opening track, The Burning of Rome, which is literally, I think, the best metal song that Virgin Steele has ever written. It's just an awesome song. The melodies are awesome, the vocal melodies, the riffing is catchy, the chorus is like mighty, epic, the song is epic. I mean, it's just the every essence of Virgin Steele in that one song. And it's not underrated by Virgin Steele fans, but in general, I think it's got to be the one underrated song. Two other songs to mention from that album. Chains of Fire. It's a good, catchy song, mid-pace. We Are Eternal is a more of a slower, epic song. There's some other glammy type songs on there which are not really my thing, but overall it's a good album. But I prefer Noble Savage, the one before, easily. Next album they released is Life Among the Ruins. This was again a half album. It's probably more towards the glam side again. It's sort of more hard rock, a little bit more glam than I normally like. The song that I picked out here as being underrated is Invitation - I Dress in Black. This song is basically pretty much a Whitesnake type song. It's got this thick groove. David DeFay's vocals. I said Vincent from Morbid Angel. David DeFay's vocals are very good on this song. Very earthy, very raw, very much like Coverdale. The other song I want to mention is Sex Religion Machine. Again, it's slightly glammy, but it's a pretty cool song, upbeat, energetic. The next album is when Virgin Steele starts to hit their stride. Glam is pretty much out, pretty much. Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 1. The song I want to mention from here is actually called Life Among the Ruins, strangely enough, the title of the previous album. This is an awesome song. This should have been on the previous album, but I'm glad it's on this one anyway. This is a really catchy song, great riffs, great energy, solid heavy metal production, very catchy. Two other songs from Marriage 1 to mention. Opener, I Will Come For You. It's a very catchy song, very memorable. And the second song to mention, a third overall, is Blood and Gasoline. That's also a very cool, very melodic chorus, very catchy vocal lines, and also it's got the epic feel. It's not glammy at all by any means. Let's turn this down a bit in case it's loud. Okay, next album they released, Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2. It's the follow-up. It's even more epic. They really went epic on this one. There's one song that I have to mention on this, and it's a perfect Virgin Steele song. It's called Emma Laith. It's an awesome song. It's like really epic. It's got acoustic starts and then it builds, gives you a great build. More power, more heavy bits. Very cool song. Three other songs to mention from Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2. The opener is Symphony of Steel, very catchy, fast-paced, power metal-like song. Unholy Water, that's a really heavy pounding song. And Victory Is Mine, another very catchy song, more fast-paced, that one. So many good songs on Marriage, Heaven and Hell Part 2. Then we complete that trilogy. These middle three albums are a trilogy. We complete the trilogy with Invictus. This is a front to back awesome album. It's full epic metal, no glam anywhere to be found. The song I'm mentioning here, I could mention any number of songs on this, but the one I'm going to mention is called Sword of the Gods. I think that's a really awesome song. It's sort of not really fast, but great epic melodies, great riffs, Awesome vocals from David DeFay. Great stuff. I'm going to mention 4 other songs, I'm sorry, from Invictus. Dominion Day is an awesome fast-paced song. Mind, Body, Spirit, it's a really heavy pounding song. Invictus, the title track, again an awesome heavy pounding song. And the final track, Veni Vidi Vici, it's like the epic of the album, lots of parts, lots of melodies, great riffs, great vocals. And every song on the album is awesome anyway. I mean, to me, it's an awesome album, front to back. Right, the next 2 albums are related to one another. The first one is House of Atreus, Act 1. It's about the Greek myths and some kind of Greek drama. The song I want to mention here is Through the Ring of Fire. Very catchy song, very cool chorus. The album is really heavy. It's probably one of the best produced Virgin Steele albums. Virgin Steele albums in general don't have the best productions. They're very raw. They are heavy, but they're very raw. It's not like full polish, but I like it like that anyway. 2 other songs to mention from House of Atreus Act 1. Flames of the Black Star. Again, it's a very awesome song. Very catchy chorus again. And finally, Great Sword of Flame. Yeah, again, it's a very catchy chorus. I mean, David, he's got a knack for writing these memorable choruses, and the way he sings them and he puts them across, it's just very catchy, very epic and very catchy. Right, next album he released is Act 2 from House of Atreus. It's a follow-up. He released these pretty quickly. It was very prolific period for Virgin Steele. Those 5 albums there, starting from Marriage, Part 1, to House of Atreus Act 2, The song I want to mention from Act 2 is The Wine of Violence. Very catchy song. Again, very cool vocals from Mr. DeFay. Very cool. The second song to mention is Fire of Ecstasy. Again, a very catchy song, very cool. House of Atreus Act 2 was a good follow-up to Act 1, but not as good as Act 1. But he was in a rich vein of form anyway. I mean, Virgin Steele were doing good things in them days. I mean, I was a huge fan in them days. Then there was a big break, I think about 5 years before the next album came out, and we were all waiting patiently, all the Virgin Steele fans. And then Visions of Eden came out, and it was a bit of a disappointment. It's not a bad album, it's not a terrible album, but his vocals have started to change a little bit. It's a little bit less powerful, a little bit higher pitch sometimes, a little bit more whispery. He just never had the same power. Plus, the other problem with Visions of Eden is the production. It's just not good enough. It's not sharp enough. They actually re-released it with a remix version called a Barbarian Mix, and it was much better. Anyway, the song I want to mention there is Child Slayer. It's one of the fastest ever Virgin Steele songs. I mean, it's literally really fast, like death metal blast beat speed on the drums. Well, the drums are a drum machine on that album, I should add as well, so they don't sound good, but the song itself is really catchy to me. 3 other songs to mention from Visions of Eden. Immortal I Stand, the opener. It's a catchy song, very cool chorus. And the 2 ballads are really nice. God Above God and When Dusk Fell. Both of those are really pretty cool songs. But Visions of Eden overall, it's the downward curve of Virgin Steele. I mean, from now on, things take a dip. 3 or 4 years later, I think, in 2010, I think, they released the Blacklight Bacchanalia. It's got much better production than Visions of Eden, but still the drum machine persists. and David's vocals are even slightly more. I mean, he's okay, he's good, he's still good, but the glory days are over. You know, he's not singing with the same gusto or quite the same melodies. But there's some good songs on Black Light Bacchanalia. The opener, Lucifer's Hammer. Not Lucifer's Hammer. The song The Bread of Wickedness is a really good, catchy song, but it's really short. It's 3 minutes long. Could do with being a bit longer, but it is a really catchy song. The other song is the opener, By the Hammer of Zeus. Yeah, it's a very good Virgin Steele song. It's a solid song, catchy chorus, and he sounds pretty good on that as well. Okay, I'll jump in the gun a bit there. Finally, we reached the most recent album, which was released, I think, 5 years ago now. Nocturnes of Hellfire and Damnation. Again, the production is not bad. I don't mind this production. The drums are still drum machine. The song I mentioned earlier mistakenly is Lucifer's Hammer. I think that's a pretty good song. Pretty heavy, good raw song, good power. The other song to mention is Persephone. Again, I think that's a pretty good song. But this album is a big disappointment overall. There's not a lot in there for the classic Virgin Steele fan. The song is quite slow. The album is quite slow at times and a little bit too ballad heavy, and some of the glam side of Virgin Steele is coming back. So for me, like being a fan of more the epic metal side, I miss the epic metal, the real crunching heavy metal. But he brings back some of the. I mean, there's even a song title called Glamour, which tells you sort of the mindset. I don't know, a little bit of the mindset. I mean, it's an okay album, but it's not. It's way down in their discography. I think after this, Virgin Steele released like 2 or 3 compilation albums with lots of bonus tracks. There was some good tracks in between, but I don't class those as studio albums, so I didn't rank them as such. There's some good songs in between, especially some of the acoustic stuff of the classic stuff that he released. They're quite good. I mean, I don't mind them. It's just him singing with Ed Persino, the guitarist, playing the acoustic. It's quite raw, but I don't know, it just sounds quite cool as well. But anyway, there you have the Virgin Steele One Song Underrated. Now I'm going to do a quick ranking of the 13 Virgin Steele studio albums. In 13th place is the self-titled debut, Virgin Steele. It was a raw, very raw start. I mean, you could sense the talent there, but it's yet to flourish. Number 12 is most recent album, Nocturnes of Hellfire and Damnation. You just expect more. Just expect more from Virgin Steele. It's okay, but just expect more. Number 11, Guardians of the Flame, the second album. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's okay. Number 10 is Life Among the Ruins. Yeah, it's okay. It's not one of my favorites. Number 9 is Black Light Bacchanalia. Yeah, it's okay, but it's towards the end of the discography. Number 8, Visions of Eden. It's quite good song-wise, but the production lets it down. Even though they released the remix, it was okay still, but still not a fantastic production. Number 7 is Age of Consent. It's a mixed album. Some parts amazing, some parts not so much for me. Number 6, this is the top 6. I'm happy with all the albums. Noble Savage, the first time I really got into Virgin Steele. I mean, it's mostly an awesome album. There's still a little bit of glam in there. They just can't do away with that. But I mean, it was still the glam period. Don't forget, this is like the mid 80s, 85, 86. Number 5, House of Atreus Act 2. Yeah, it's a good follow-up to Act 1. Not quite as good. Number 4 is Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 1. It's a good epic album. Number 3, House of Atreus Act 1. Very good start for that. What's it called? The 2-part saga there, the Greek saga. Second best Virgin Steele album is Marriage of Heaven and Hell Part 2. It's just an awesome album. Very awesome. But the number 1, I've already said it's awesome many times. It's Invictus. It's just a 10 out of 10 album if you like Virgin Steele or if you like epic metal. It's just unsurpassed. A brilliant album. Okay, that was Virgin Steele. Stay heavy.